everyone. I'm going to go ahead and get the meeting started. So call to order. I have to do the consent agenda. So that is the minutes and also the agenda for this. So can somebody make a motion?
Ashley will make a motion to accept the minutes and consent agenda.
You're the only other person to second.
Oh, there she is.
Oh. Hi.
We
Since
will
you
schedule it. You just have to be early. See what's ready.
Yeah. All right. Peggy, did you second?
Yes, I did.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. So public comments, no one's here. Written communication? All right, so moving on to new business. Reference and Readers Advisory Service.
She's like, oh wait.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to talk to you about this, Melissa, but I had no recommendations for this one. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to look at it. We've had this in place, starting in 2019. Okay, so we haven't reviewed it since 2022. We didn't change it in 2022 from 2019. I didn't check for pronoun issues. Quickly, I'm not seeing any, but I think we're happy with it as written. But I don't know if you saw anything that gave you pause.
I did not either. I didn't look for pronouns, but I'm also not seeing any yet.
Staff is what we use in those places.
Patrons and staff. Yeah, I think it's good.
Well, does anybody want to make a recommendation to send this to the full board?
Ashley will motion to send the reference and readers advisory policy to the full board.
Okay. Need a second?
Kaylee will second.
All right. Any other discussion? All right. All in favor? Aye. All right. Public awareness campaign.
Yeah, so we got to start on that, and then our marketing specialist said, medical leave we expected to happen in October, happened a lot sooner, so she's been out. So what I have done is I've been consulting with Planet Creative. Hi, Carl. Planet Creative is a marketing consultant we've worked with in the past. They got me some mock-ups today. So the cost is $3,200 on it. Some for that. This public awareness campaign is about our financial position and a way to a call to action to library supporters to let your council person, let the city council know that you're okay with your taxes going up by tens of dollars. I think what they came up with is pretty good. We're focusing on what could be lost more than what could be gained, because I think people are loss averse, you know.
Yeah.
Nothing's finished yet. They showed me some mock-ups this morning, and I think we tweaked a couple things. I don't want it to sound existential, so one of them was a poster that said this library is at risk. Let's maybe tone it down a little bit. But overall, I think they're on the right track. And they took Casey's work, Casey had done, kind of used it as a springboard. Had Casey been here, we would have been doing some back and forth and gotten to where we wanted with her. But I feel like we're in a good place. I forgot to bring the timeline with me, but I think on the September 20th would be the day that it would begin. So October 20th is when council votes on the budget. So it's a short turnaround. But I think, and it would be like a series of posters and a newsletter and website. So that's where we are with that. They're kind of excited by the project and are moving fast. I mean, I met first with them yesterday, so.
Do we need to take an action on this?
No, I thought just in
Just in
case I had something to approve, but I don't. So,
What should we do in the second half of the package?
Yes.
the policy, the management personnel handbook, yeah.
Okay, any other new business?
I don't know if it was new or old, but I can update you on the search for a new executive administrative assistant. So we ended up having close to 150 applicants. We narrowed it down to 8. It's actually 10, but 2 people never called it back. 8 to talk to via Zoom. Since yesterday morning, we've completed 7 of those interviews. We have 1 more Monday morning. We've got some really strong candidates. I think at this point, there's only one who's an obvious rule out. The next step is we'll do, if I can narrow it down to 3, we'll narrow it down to 3, but maybe I'll call everybody that I like for a callback and do in-person interviews, and we usually like to do a lunch with them to keep, give them in a more, less formal atmosphere, and do that over the next 2 to 3 weeks at the most, and then make an offer. So we've been really happy with the field of interviews for that.
Awesome. All right. Any other new business? Okay. If not, then we'll move on to management personnel handbook action. So
Sick leave is where we pick up. Yeah.
So,
And what I recommended is that we review the second half, and then next month I present you guys with the whole thing revised as page 8, yeah. Section 7, sick leave. So that first paragraph, we've got a question about exactly who this applies to, because we're not consistent with other things in here like bereavement. But one thing that has come up a couple of times is longtime partner that you don't live with.
No.
So we've had, in fact, we've had that a couple of times, both on the bereavement side, when someone's longtime partner didn't live with them, wasn't married, their mother died, and they weren't eligible for any bereavement time. Same thing with sick time. We had somebody who had to take fairly extensive time off to help their partner who was injured, but again, they didn't live together. So according to this, they had to use vacation time. So look, it's generous where it is, but one of our pillars is to be a benign employer. So it's just I don't know how far we want to go with that.
I mean, what kind of language would you say?
That's a great question. Where do you draw the line? What's a
Right.
long time partner? Just whatever somebody says it is. I think basically.
So we're talking about domestic means in-house, right?
Exactly. So again, it happened twice in the last 5 years.
So you're saying like include long time partner or partner?
Well, I'm asking what you guys think of that, because I'm not sure where I stand on it, to be honest with you. It's
That's really tough.
on the one hand, yeah, and in one case, I think they had been together like 20-some years, I mean, bereavement one, and when his mother died,
Yeah, that's certainly long term.
and she couldn't use bereavement time. Exactly, that's the question. What
Yeah, I
counts?
mean, 20 years is a long time.
I mean, we
Yeah.
can say that that's definitely it, but is
But
1 year?
No, I mean,
Exactly.
no.
Because
like
Correct.
the young bucks out there, then a year, whoop, that's a lot of time. 365 days of it, that's one person. So, I don't really know.
Yeah, and it's just, it depends on what direction you guys want to go and how generous you want to be with this. You know, neither one of those people had to take unpaid time off. They just had to dig into their vacation. I could live with keeping it as is and just making sure everything matches.
So what's in the union contract?
Pretty much the same as this. Yeah. So it wouldn't apply to them because their contract is good for another 3 years, 2 years.
I'll be, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So on the next paragraph, sick leave accrual for part-time employees is 4 hours per. So this was based on a part-time employee being 20 hours per week, and it's not always the case. Matter of fact, our only management part-time employee is 25 hours per week. So it should have just I think it should just simply be prorated rather than 4 hours per month.
Yep.
And in section B, the second paragraph, that's simply a mistake. It was supposed to be 400 hours of sick leave, not 800 hours. So this was a pre-COVID thing that we were trying to give people an incentive not to use as much sick time. And so if you accumulate X amount, you get another personal day. But it was not 800 hours, it was 400 hours. So, and I believe the rest in the underlying language is from the attorney that put hash language for the part-timers. But it should probably also say prorated.
Forgot, I have my old.
I had the old one too, and then when you said underline, I was like, you know what?
I know.
You want to know something?
Got it, okay.
So we just want to change the language in C from call to notify via text or phone call.
Yeah.
Most of the department heads prefer to be texted. But we do still include in there calling the administrative office. There's a typo right in that is underlined, so there's a typo from the attorney, not from me. It's prior to, not prior TO, not prior to TWO. Change the pronouns in the next paragraph, and then in the last sentence in the next paragraph, addition library administration will, not may. I do not like that language at all. Will solicit donation of sick time. So if someone runs out of sick time and they are not able to return to work, we will ask if anybody wants to donate their sick time. I have tried in the past unsuccessfully with the union to say, okay, instead of making this personal, what if we just had a sick time bank that we could all donate to, and not to a person, but to a bank at the beginning of the year, and then draw from that if needed. Because I think sometimes it becomes well, I like this person, but
You're not taking my day.
yeah, so, but unless we do it for both union and management, I'm going to keep it as it is. So I'll try again when we renegotiate the contract. So bereavement. We just want to strike through the sentence or the clause, dependent upon funeral arrangements and travel requirements. You're going to get the 4 days period. exceed 4 days. So, and again, this doesn't exactly match sick leave. So, when it lists the, who passes away and makes you eligible for bereavement. And somebody asked, what about families of those you're domiciled with? So, what about your roommate's mother? Yeah, I mean, that gets,
It's tricky.
yeah.
I think it should match sick leave.
So, let's see if we can get the difference here. So we've got, on sick leave, we've got child, stepchild, spouse, domestic partner, sibling, parent, in-laws. Parent, step. Parent, okay, what do we?
Because I think that it might be domestic partner, is the intention maybe of anyone domiciled with the employee, but, I mean, I think bereavement's a little bit different than sick leave.
It is,
It's a
sure.
little, I mean, there's kind of a time, there's definitely a grieving period, but then there's also like arrangements and things, so and it depends on your role. But sick leave or sick leave could extend,
Well, for instance, we've got and I see your point, but spouse of children. So your son or daughter-in-law is on bereavement, but not on sick. If your son-in-law is in the hospital, should you get sick time for that? That's, again, I don't have a strong feeling. This stuff doesn't come up very often. But I thought it was something that we should discuss and be intentional about, because I don't know if we really even realize that we're inconsistent until really recently.
Yeah.
So your brother-in-law is on for bereavement, but not, or brother or sister-in-law is on for not sick leave. And, you could make that case that that's right.
but it's like immediate family with the definition of immediate.
Yeah, I'm not even suggesting that this should change. I'm just saying there's an inconsistency here, and we just need to decide whether we think it should. I wish I had a strong feeling to say this is the way it should be, guys. I just don't. I see it.
Yeah, I see why they don't match. I don't have a problem with them not matching, because you're right, like, don't need to take sick time for your brother-in-law, but would probably want to attend that funeral.
Yeah. And I mean, some of it depends on how, if they're out of state,
Yeah.
travel for it, or, like, I'm also okay with it staying. I'd be curious if there.
So are we not trying to include domestic partner?
No, I mean, not
That would
that.
fall under any
Yeah.
But I-
domicile. of the
Yeah,
employee.
I mean,
Or
that-
you and, oh, okay.
Yeah, it really kind of is, it's just in different language. Yeah,
Yeah.
just different language. I mean, and it's actually the bereavement is actually broader. It could be your roommate or your
Yeah,
partner.
yeah.
There's no
But that makes
stepchildren
sense.
in bereavement though.
I think this is also medically personality, you the one overseeing this, are you going to, ask for physical proof and some of the others?
Yeah, of course, yeah, you're right, and that certainly should be in there.
Yeah, stepchildren should be in
Stepchildren should be in there.
Okay.
In both cases of the two
Yeah.
people who had longtime partners that they didn't live with, if they invited me, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah. just take
You
it.
know, I hate to be like, that,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have cared, and I wouldn't have
Like,
felt
let me
like.
see that funeral.
Yeah, I'm not going to, as there was a George Costanza moment about that. Flying free if you got the death certificate, something like that.
Oh, boy.
But I think probably stepchildren, maybe step-parents should be in
Yeah,
bereavement.
yeah,
Okay.
I would add that, just to make it
Step
clear.
family.
Step-family might be broader.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're all making a good point about I'm not going to be saying prove it to anybody.
Yeah.
So with that change, I think you guys think we'll be good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you can, like, we'll run it through here, so I'll make sure that they're all, because they'll see these changes, like, they'll see the
Sure.
marked up copy, things have changed,
Yeah.
so, jury duty.
Jordan said we had to add deposition in there, and the other languages, I believe, from him as well, because that's the law. Shall not be required to use vacation or bonus leave for this time. So,
We have had that.
yeah, so here's the question. So we always, if we're closed, so let's say we take a snow day, we close. If it's your scheduled day off, we don't give you paid time for that. But it's been asked a few times, what if you were scheduled to work from home? Right, so if we say the library is going to be closed because of snow, or we've got, there's some work that needs we've done this before too, we're going to close in the afternoon because there's noisy work that's going to be done in the building. But what if you're scheduled to work from home that day? Should you get the granted leave? My thing is probably no.
No, because you could still work.
Yeah,
from home.
you're still able to.
Just luck of the draw. If nobody's planned it,
I mean, good try.
I agree with that.
Last year, we were kind of
It's-
closed for snow, and my boss called all of us and was like, you have four-wheel drive, right? I was like, yeah, I have an Outback, I could get there. He's like, okay, it's just gonna be me and you for like 2 hours, and then we're going home.
Mine's like, well, you can work from home, so you're working from home. Okay.
School visitation leave and victims' economic security leave, safety leave act, that's straight from the law. Civic donation. So we give time for to donate blood or to engage in comparable public health, civic, or charitable work during work hours. But no more than one request per month from the same employee will be honored. Union contract is no more than 5 hours per year. Do we want to match that?
Yeah, and do we have to take advantage of this?
It happens, it's not, I don't think anybody's ever bumping up against that 5 hours going, come on, let me get blood again, I don't think that's happened.
But I mean, you could take like at my old company, they used to give us a day where we could go and like volunteer somewhere, so that was nice. And we got paid for it, so.
And, but we limit it, with union staff, we limit it to 5 hours per year. Do we want to match that, or do we want to, this language just says once a month?
Yeah. So
But that could be, again, if it's engaging in charitable work, for how long? Is it a day, a month? Because that's a lot.
Right, I mean,
Yeah.
like, you could go work in the bookstore.
Michelle was doing that before she left. She was doing an hour every month or so in the bookstore.
I've seen that.
But I do think there has to be some kind of limit said
I think so,
This
yeah.
this is pretty vague.
I think 5 hours. I think that's a union contract.
Match it.
If anybody has a problem with that, let's talk about it.
I'll just pull one straight from the contract. All right, nothing else gave us pause on that page or the next.
Fine.
Yeah,
That went faster than the first half.
so, all right, workers' comp. This is from Jordan. He said that the board should discuss whether or not this policy is desired, and if so, does it need to better match the contract, union contract. So, what it says is, in the case of on-job injury, we'll pay the difference between your salary and workman's comp. So if workman's comp is half your salary,
We will pay the other half.
we'll pay the other. For up to 6 months. He felt it was a generous policy, unusually so. But, again, we've had one person on workman's comp in the 11 years I've been here. And he ended up, when the doctors were saying he could come back to work, if he was saying, no, I can't, we let him go. But it's never happened, doesn't mean it never will. But, it is certainly the benign thing to do. And it's not like us paying their entire salary, we'd be matching the difference between.
And what if this, like the union contract said?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know off the top of my head. I should have had that prepared, but let me see if I have a copy of it. I'm thinking I don't know.
I know you sent it to us.
I sent it to this committee, right?
You sent it on May 2nd.
You got it pulled up? Is it easy to search?
Yeah, yes. 57 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I should click on it and keep me there, or like click on one thing. Okay. So there's a blood donor.
Accident or injury leave, absence due to injury, accident, or illness incurred in the employee's employment shall be compensated for in the following manner. The employer shall pay to the employee any difference between his or her salary and all benefits received under the Illinois Workers' Compensation Act, as long as the employee is eligible for sick leave benefits. Sick leave benefits shall be used to make up the salary difference, and deductions from sick leave shall be made in the prorated proportion as is paid.
So it's not like we're just paying it as if they were here, they're having to use sick.
Yeah. once the sick leave benefits have been exhausted for this purpose, the employer shall make up the difference in the payment of the regular salary and workers' compensation benefits paid to the employee so long as the employee is eligible to receive said benefits, has not made a final settlement on his or her work-related claim.
Does it have a time frame? Okay, so I do like that we'll match that once your sick time is exhausted.
Yeah.
But I also like a time, I also like a time frame on it.
Section 5.
I was looking for workers' compensation.
So what, the Jordan's question is, do you guys want this policy? And if so, do you want it to better match the,
CPA.
and it's one of those things that, if I sit here and tell you, it's never come up, I guarantee you, this week we got to the last one,
Put it out there. Put it out there. It's like saying, I need to make copies real fast. Copier's gonna break down.
That's true.
You can't say nothing, just gotta go there quiet.
Just do it.
Don't say nothing.
Can Jordan make a recommendation for this based on, like, the union contract?
So just asking to recommend some language?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I agree, like, that could be forever.
Yeah, I'm surprised that got passed this, in the CBA. That seems even,
Yeah, I'm surprised the CBA doesn't have
an end date.
And,
It seemed like it would. I mean, I think workman's comp does. You can't stay on, I don't think workman's comp eventually ends.
It does.
Eventually, yeah.
I
I don't know.
I don't.
what that number is,
Again,
but.
yeah,
I don't pretend to remember workman's comp.
Yeah, again, we had one case and it started before I was hired.
Sure.
So, and then at the end, the doctors were saying he could come back to work, and he was saying, no, I can't, so we let him go. Considered that job abandoned. Okay. We'll take care of that. So, under F, we want to get rid of that first paragraph because it refers to the civil service, and there are no management staff classified in civil service. There was a long time belief, I swear every management person who started out as a civil servant believed it, that if you were ever civil service, you were always civil service, even if you got promoted into management. And I read the civil service rules and I said, that's nowhere in here. And I talked to the Civil Service Commission secretary, who happens to be an HR person at the city, and she said, no, because the minute you leave become management, you leave the civil service. So you no longer have civil service protection. So that's got to go. Next page. This is my question. So we've got relative to the library board of trustees or city librarian will not be employed. We had a city librarian very recently. I did just say board of trustees, but relatives of city board of trustees or city librarian will not be employed by the library full or part-time. Such relatives are defined to be the spouse or children of the trustee. And I again wonder if that is exhaustive enough. What about my domestic partner? Can I hire her? Can I hire my stepchild?
Yeah, it feels like this needs to be
Clarify.
expanded a little bit.
Yeah. I wanna add
So,
some things.
and I thought we could use the definitions in the next paragraph. So the next paragraph is referring to it says that we may employ members of the same immediate family or the corresponding relationship by marriage, but not where one will be in the position of supervising another. So we have had a married couple, we've had a couple married couples work here, but they didn't want to work in the same department. Yeah, okay. So that definition is in the next sentence, and we could use that as the definition for who we can't hire related to you guys and myself.
Yeah.
And then including step,
And including domestic partner.
so step and domestic partner.
Do we want to add that language to the paragraph also?
I would add it to both.
Okay.
What else?
What?
What about the non-domestic partner?
Yeah, I think we're just gonna pretend those don't exist, and they can,
People who have attachment, who still want to have their own bed at night. I respect it.
in the next, I have a problem with the word may in the next one. I think it should be will. I mean, so if it's, because if it's may, I mean, what do I base it on?
Yeah.
But isn't that in response to indirectly related, and may reimburse for any course indirectly related, as in it will be reimbursed for those directly related?
Right. So
You're just,
I just,
I
if
see.
it's,
No.
but even so indirectly, it's either, I think it should either say that
Yes
no,
or
we
you-
don't,
or no.
we do. I mean, on what basis am I making that decision?
Okay.
Uh,
Because
and
what
we're-
would be the basis? Like if someone says, I'm learning Chinese, and that could be helpful.
Exactly, and here's we're supposed to be a learning organization, right? And we're in some ways part of the education infrastructure. We should be pro-learning, and if somebody wants to better themselves, even if they're taking engineering classes and they know they're gonna leave, it's ain't a lot of money.
It's not?
Up to
wait, there's an
1,000
exception.
per fiscal year.
Oh,
For a
Okay.
employee.
Yeah, I mean, I
so but then what it's saying is that if it is related,
if it's directly related, it's, okay, let's parse this sentence here. Library will reimburse the cost of tuition fees for courses, yeah, get rid of that parentheses there, directly related to an employee's job.
I would just say if you're going to school, you're not doing it.
half of
Well,
it.
So we don't.
Actually, this makes no sense because tuition is way more than
I
that.
know,
Yeah.
I just read that and I was like, that is like saying that it will reimburse.
So what if we just said,
Which we never have,
what if we just said,
up to
Oh, no.
$1,000.
We're looking at the teaching thing. it
up to,
has be
yeah,
related to
just forget about all the directly or indirectly
Yeah.
and say, the library will
Up to-
reimburse up to $1,000 per fiscal year, and up to $500 for full-time, and up to $500 for part-time for college. College
Tuition and
Do we want to say
fees.
college or just courses? Courses is what we've got there. Tuition. All right, I'll flush that language out and get you something that makes sense there, but yeah, that's a good point, that it's not, because that might have made sense many years ago.
Yeah.
It was more than that a month.
That's too, yeah, that ain't gonna add up.
Yeah, and it's rare, I think it's two or maybe three times in the 11 years I've been here, somebody has requested. The union will reimburse them too, and I think the union's a little more generous about it, so they usually go, it's usually union employees and they usually go. I think it's mostly been management employees that have asked the library.
I would just say reimbursement applies only to courses offered for college credit.
Gosh, this is just a long
So,
Exception of exceptions.
so you said, I'm sorry,
It
yeah,
says,
it's that,
so courses, only courses.
right, reimbursement clause, so it says for college credit, so then you get to where how do you define that as a technical school, you know.
Is it Microsoft?
Right. But it's not just I'm taking this,
Dance class.
right.
I mean, but still, I mean, the numbers need to be different, I would think.
How so?
Maybe not, maybe I was in a complicated situation. My grad school, which was online, was definitely more than
Oh, yeah, we budget 10,000 a year for this, and, you know, we simply are not in a position to be, I mean, we could be, but that's for the other committee to decide. You know, and we talked about it before as a way to, you know, even as a DEI tool to, you know, staff we already have, and let's help you get your degree to work towards, you know, moving up in the organization, or even leaving the organization and getting a better job, whatever. But I think, you know, until we feel a little more financially stable, I don't know that we can,
give you that.
yeah.
Plus, we don't exhaust that budget. I don't think we have that.
We've never, yeah, we never have, but the union contract requires us to budget 10,000 a year for it, so, at a minimum. So I'll get that language to you, I think we can make that make sense. Yeah, personnel files, we changed the pronouns,
That's Jordan's.
some of it is, I don't think he worried about the pronoun, I think that came from me. But yeah, the rest of the up to 2 times per year, because that is a legal thing. And yes, the rest of it is short stuff.
5 cents per page for such a copy.
Yeah, we got rid of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then under service recognition, we say 1/2 part-time employees, 1/2 of the amounts, of the service recognition amounts. But again, Betty Jo doesn't work. She's not a 1/2. She's the only part-time management employee. She does not work 1/2. She works 25, so that's what, 5/8 full-time. But we prorate all our other benefits. This is,
Yeah.
so we'll change that to prorated.
Okay.
So, what do you guys want to talk about now? I'll go back and get you a clean copy worked out,
Okay.
and get that to you next month so that we're all in accord that we've got everything the way we want it. I'm also going to suggest we begin looking at the board bylaws next month. And we're hopefully we'll have a youth services policy draft soon.
The clean copy you'll share with staff? Are you gonna have us look at it?
Yeah, I think that there's, I think there's some things that it's, when we talk about the things like, that we talked about last month, like, if we ask staff, do you want to have that 40 hours to be automatic rolled over? Of course they're gonna say yes.
Right.
I think but the thing is, what we're trying to do with this is encourage them, it's twofold. One is encourage people to use your time off,
Correct.
use it.
Yeah.
Get out of the office, and we're going to pay you to do that, to recharge your batteries. The other one is to not put you in a position to look, when I got here, there was one staff member who had 8 weeks of vacation time and just kept banking, you know, so it was kind of, and what people were doing was doing that, you know, kind of saving it for when they left, because you get paid out at today's rate, not the rate you earned it, you know. I don't think that's really the issue anymore. I think what it is people thinking, I can't take time off now. I can't, and you can. I mean, you know, we want you to, we don't want you to get in a position. It was me too. I mean, I was rolling over a week and I'm still not saying, no, you can't roll over a week. Just saying, let's talk about it. Let's not make it automatic. But I think beyond a week, just shouldn't happen. You know,
I can't at my.
yeah, I don't think most places.
Like, we can't.
Most places it's
We don't
usually
accrue time, except for that. And
It's good for them, it's good for the organization. Use the time you get, because it makes you a better employer. It also, it gets hard, if you get, let's say you get 3 of them even in your department, roll over and now they have 6 weeks of vacation and they said, well, this is the year I'm going to use all 6 weeks. That is tough to manage.
Going to Mongolia.
Yeah, that's tough to manage. So that's, I want to prevent that from happening. I want them to use it. I'm trying to make the same commitment myself and use the time I've got and not keep rolling it over. So, but other things, yeah, we definitely want to and I can get their feedback on that, but I think their feedback is going to want to be, of course, they want it to be automatic.
Yeah.
But I'm still not going to say no. I mean, in the union contract, they have to ask for it. They have to ask to roll over. They cannot roll over more than 1 week. And they got to have a reason. Why did he use it? And I'll give everybody the first time they asked to roll over an extra week, benefit of the doubt. But after that, I want to know that your boss told you you couldn't take time off. If your boss told you you couldn't take time off, then we'll let you do it. Otherwise, take the time off. Take the time off. We want you to. So.
It's so opposite of society norms then.
Yeah.
It is, and I think
A
we're allowed
lot
to
of people wouldn't
internalize.
take time off because they feel like they're being replaced.
Yes, yeah, I think a lot of
Shoot,
us.
teachers, please replace me. Please. Or like, if you leave, you know we don't have a sub. Well, I gotta go, I got the flu, I gotta go.
But yeah, a lot of us internalize it. We, and some of this we don't want. It's about our teammates, because then they're going to have to pick up slack while I'm gone, and that speaks well. I think that they take that seriously. But there's a member of the leadership team that I got to twist her arm, but when she takes the time off, she comes back feeling better about things, and they're ready to go. So it's a good thing.
Contributing update, can we talk about, at all about what's going on with the budget, or comp talks?
Sure, we can. I have heard nothing.
Right.
Well,
Except
what a discussion.
I heard from the chief financial officer yesterday that she has resigned. And her last day will be September 12th. Ruby. So I have heard nothing, and I am open to suggestion about how to proceed. I think I have to, by next week, reach out to city manager and say, we have to talk. I mean, I've already reached out to him and said, I don't know where to go from here, but your proposal and our proposal are miles apart. So we should probably talk. I said, this is what the board decided on. I gave them a range of options, and I think they chose the right one. So I think we should talk.
Did you email him, or did you call?
I email.
Can you call him?
I can.
I don't know if you can, or literally answer that. Go over there and just be like, hey, I've emailed you.
He's got a gatekeeper.
Angela.
Yeah, Angela.
That's fine.
Shabbat
Call her every day. Call her, I'm gonna call you back
Because of your
tomorrow.
company.
Yeah,
Should chase you to the civic center.
I'm happy to do that. I just want to make sure. And again, that's this whole, the public awareness campaign, if we get a commitment from them saying, hey, we're working on a solution, maybe we don't do it, you know? Because it does make me a little nervous, because things like that can backfire, you know? We had one councilman say, don't give them my phone number. I'm like, I'm not gonna give your phone number out to the public.
Just your
But you're, no doxing, but we are gonna give you your DecaturIll.gov email, because that's what it's for. And I'm not even gonna suggest to people to go to the public meeting and speak. We talked about that. I'm not gonna suggest that. I'm just gonna say, if you support what we're suggesting, you know, make this a better library, save a lot of things, and it would only cost you tens of dollars a year. If you think that's a good deal, let them know. Because all they hear is, don't raise my taxes. They hear that all the time. So if you think that, you know, again, it makes what we're proposing, it sounds like a huge number, 40% increase. But it increases my tax bill by 1%.
Or, I mean,
And $30.
and
my
they
own
talked
tax
about
bill.
other
$30.
revenue streams as well.
They did.
So figure it out, like, if
Yeah.
you can't do it in property taxes, figure it out in another way.
Right, and city code allows for that. It specifically says tax or taxes.
I mean, I know that we have significantly high tax on our gas, and I will still pay it if I know
Yeah.
that my, even, like I was thinking about like all the things like Park District does, and the schools, and like, I mean, the Park District can charge. Park District charges for everything that they do, so they get some money back. The schools though, they don't.
They also have an airport.
Correct. I mean, they have significant revenue
They've got some
sources.
revenue
They
sources,
have,
correct.
I mean, all the classes they charge for, all of the disc, you know, we don't have that. So we, like, ours and schools, but schools are, they're funded differently. Right? So, like, we're in a different, whatever I'm thinking of. So, like, but we're in a similar boat, you know, like we have some funding from, you know, foundation, friends, you know, like some donations. The schools are the same way, so it's,
Yeah, we're not taking it, we're not asking for anything. It also just gets us in the middle of the pack with comparable libraries in Central Illinois.
Yeah.
Instead of way in the last place. It puts us kind of in the middle of the pack. So,
Suggest optics. Those dollars, city officials, how it looks.
I did suggest that Danville funds their library
Yeah.
much.
We don't need to bring down the other two towns.
Yeah.
But we will say that
It's
they
like,
do support
it's
their
like,
people.
it's like on The Simpsons, always saying, well, Shelby.
Bibliotechnical.
yeah, right? So, okay. Any other business? Not, then I'll take a motion to adjourn. All right.
Katie seconds.